Hi guys, this is one of my blackout readings, or really the message, the download that I got, and I did some reading on it. Time to time I will put up blackout readings. If you prefer the other readings when you see the tarot, you'll leave these readings out, okay? Anyway, many tarot reader does this, so it's not something I invented. If you don't like it, it's fine. You just watch the other videos that is for you, okay? Thank you. This download I got, and I did also reading on it, many of it, and it's about a twin flame couple, okay? I have the impression, like in every twin flame connection, there is always a fight to get together, always some karmic people who wants to separate them. There is often the case that one of the twin flame become evil and ruin the other one and the relationship. I think that is the other reason why many twin flame stories goes on for many lifetimes until they manage to reunite. You need to understand twin flame connections are special because they have a spiritual purpose to get together. So negative energies and karmic people do everything to separate them, and there is always a huge fight going around getting two twin flame together because there are negative energies and karmic people who wants to separate them. There are divine positive energies who wants them to get together, and somehow two souls, two human got trapped into this insane war, and they what I can see here is a man and a woman who's really fed up with everything. They do not know what to think about each other. They do not know if they should approach each other or not. They just like up into their mind and in a kind of doubt and don't know which direction to go towards you or from each other or towards each other. It's really complicated and very difficult decision because all the negative energies and karmic people trauma bonded these two persons and taught them not to trust anyone, not to trust the opposite sex, not to trust love, not to trust anyone because they will get hurt again, and both of them is terrified being hurt. Both of them thinks the other one is evil. Both of them thinks the other one is the cause of every problem in their life. Typical hate and love relationship. Not really relationship actually, because it's only a connection yet. They doubt each other. The divine masculine doubt the love of the divine feminine. The divine feminine doubt the love of the divine masculine. I always tell this in my videos. If some people understood that they need to just sit down and have a straightforward, honest communication, because they do not lose anything. And, you know, people just are afraid that what if, and because of that, they suffer for years. And there will be many misunderstandings and many hurt that is going on more and more in their life. Their destiny is blocked. Their future is blocked. New beginnings are blocked. And for what? Just because they are afraid to communicate, just because they are afraid to move and do something about it, because who knows for what reason. Maybe there are people put doubt in their mind, maybe there are some shitty people doing some esoteric manipulations, so they won't be able to talk to each other, maybe their ground chakra is blocked, whatever. And then at the end, there is only one solution, is to sit down and talk and put down everything on the table. But sometimes the situation and the fear is much more greater than that. So people go on with doubts and fears and pain and love and hate for so many years, and often an entire lifetime, that carried for the next lifetime. And that is continue going on and on and on until finally the twin flame can do these very simple things to sit down and honestly talk what has happened, what is their feelings, and what do they think. So they could clearly see what is the reality and what is the perception the people around them want to have about each other. That is the eternal suffering of twin flame stories. And here I got a message from a divine feminine, because I think this divine feminine has deep feelings for the divine masculine, her twin. But she thinks the divine masculine is too toxic, and if she let this divine masculine close to her, she will be destroyed again, and she won't be able to stand on her feet again. So she prefers to push this divine masculine away and make this divine masculine believes lies that she does not want him, and she's just upset, she's just had enough, she just can't do it anymore. And in the same time, I can feel the masculine's energies. He is fed up that nothing is go forward. He is fed up that it's like a circle going around. The same problem. Once the divine feminine opens, the divine masculine tries to approach, and suddenly the divine feminine closes. So the divine masculine back up, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And he is fucking fed up with it. We have a situation, we have a situation really, really difficult and unsupportable. It has to end, it has to stop, because none of them can take it anymore. They can't walk away, but they can't walk towards each other neither. So they are stuck in a situation where they do not know what to do. They just want to have peace, and I don't know how to describe this frustration both of them has, when they only need is a pure communication. I have impression they are led by their fears, both of them, and it keeps them back from this divine true love they could have. There need to be many forgiving and releasing the past from both sides. There need to be lots of transformation in both sides. But it won't change the fact that divine masculine loves the divine feminine, and divine feminine loves the divine masculine. We can look at all the hurt, all the horrible things that has been done. We can look at the fears they have. We can look at the karmics people who laughing on them, the betrayers, the slandering, and all shitty things that going around them. But it does not change the fact that divine masculine loves divine feminine, and divine feminine loves divine masculine. And all the karmic knows, if these two people would sit down and actually, they should communicate their true feelings, how do they feel about each other, and clarify the past events honestly, not being ashamed of the horrible things they did or said, and they didn't mean it. Most of the time, all these things, reactions were because of past traumas in their life. They were fueled by it, and they are ashamed of it. I think both of them. They are both afraid the other one won't forgive them. The other one won't love them anymore and walk away from them. But excuse me, what do you have to lose? Because right now the situation, you are not together, but you are not separated. So I don't know, why are you afraid losing the other one when you don't even have her or him? This is a situation really, really idiot, because I don't know how to describe it. These two people has to get together and sit down and put their fear aside and finally have an adult, grown-up conversation and leave these karmic shitty energies behind. So everything could advance in a way God and universe wants it. While I could feel the energy of the divine masculine and a divine feminine, and lots of pain and lots of love and lots of doubt and lots of fear. And I have the impression these two people are really mirroring each other. And it's really tires them out. They are really tired. They are almost on a point being exhausted. And karmic people and negative energies knows that really well. Sometimes the masculine, divine masculine, stands up and says, no, I will. It's a beautiful soul. He can't see himself like this because he has his toxicity. He has his own issues that he needs to fix and heal from it. But in reality, this love just want to protect the divine feminine, just to want to ease all this burden and pains on her. And after he thinks about his pain, and this is a mentally horrible he goes through. I have the impression in a lower level, the divine feminine goes through the same, but not that intensive than a guy, because I have the impression that the feminine energy is more healed than the masculine, and a masculine thinks the feminine energy is very strong, stronger than him. That is not the case. And the feminine energy thinks the masculine is weak because he is toxic, and it's not the case. Yes, maybe he has some toxic problem, just like a feminine. But this is a strong individual. Very strong individual. This guy does not realize how strong he is. He thinks the feminine is stronger than him. That is not the case. He doesn't see all the horrible things. He just coming out and fighting his way out. You need to be an earth angel, or I don't know, a supernatural superhero to be able to get out all of those shits that this divine masculine was in. And he just wants that the divine feminine recognize that and accept that just the divine feminine says that, oh, I love you and I know what you have been through, and comfort him, love him, to care for him, so he could have some place to escape and find happiness and peace and love in the arms of the divine feminine. And he takes it really well that he doesn't take it well, that the divine feminine reject this need, or she doesn't even realize that the guy has such a need. And why not communicate all that? Why not communicate all the fears? Why not communicate all the hurt and the pain? And why not communicate all the needs on both sides? Just to get clear. Because this communication most of the time is not happening between twin flame. It's like even when they get together and talk, it has the atmosphere of let's play games with cards and not putting all the cards down on a table to see truly and openly what is about the other person, because none of them dare to do that, because they are all, both of them are afraid. And it is a vicious circle that goes on and on and on. And unfortunately, negative energies and karmic people feed on it really well. What both of them needs to understand that there's two options. That this cycle goes on and on forever, or finally they sit down and they get real and honest about each other, but they risk maybe losing certain things or having some legal issues, or I could see a couple where they threatened each other, they have proof against each other, so both of them are afraid if I tell everything honestly, the other one can use it against me. So there is no communication. And both of them love each other, both of them wants to be together deeply in their heart, but they refuse it, they ignore it. This is really complicated. And I understand sometimes one or both twin flame gives up and walk away from each other. Doesn't matter how painful is it. Because it's just insane. You can't do it for an entire life. So often twin flames finish separately with other soulmates and live with their soulmates for the rest of their life, and they try it again the next lifetime, but often it goes on continue like that. It's like a karmic cycle. And for what? Because there is no open and honest communication. I understand the reason, I understand, but when these two persons finally get to the level that being real and honest with each other and open their hearts, I think they know, and they may be afraid deeply that this love can be really powerful, overwhelming, overpowering, and because it's unknown, they somehow are terrified from it. But in the same time, when a reunion finally happens for a twin flame couple, they finally reunite and realize how much they love each other. Usually twin flames become totally inseparable, even that they have different intention before going into a relationship. This powerful connection change both of them. They transform each other. This divine feminine is refusing, pushing away this divine masculine, when in her heart wants only one thing: to love him, to be with him, and just fulfill their destiny and giving all the love away for him. She's just suppressing and destroying. And I can see the divine masculine doing the same thing. And on the side of the divine masculine, there is lots of ego, while the divine feminine also has some. But they have all, both of them, their own reasoning why the other one should apologize, why the other one should make the first step, why the other one should do this and that. But nobody takes responsibility for their own act and what they should do themselves. They pointing on each other because of pain, because of betrayals, because of hurt, or whatever. Well, there is a simple thing called communication. And it is complicated, so complicated, because of lies, manipulations, all kind of shitty things. People has difficulty to sit down and say, I made a mistake here and here and here, and this way and this way and this way. Some of the mistakes are so horrible that they are almost like crimes, so the person afraid telling it, because what if it's recorded and sent to the police? She might do that, or he might do that. And like that, they will be betrayed again. So sometimes the communication is not happening because of that. Sometimes it's not happening because of the ego. It's impossible to tell someone that you made mistakes, that you are hurt and you acted on your trauma and practically you bled on your twin. It's just horrible how much these two persons just can't get together. It's horrible. I think both of them has to still grow, both of them has to still transform and change. I'm very, very strong Scorpio energy. Cancer also, I can feel some fiery energy. There is some Taurus energy in it also. At the end, nobody knows the solution, the right solution. Well, in my opinion, is the communication. But as I told you, there are so many reasons why both of them are avoiding this, like it would be the last thing they would do. But what will you do? You will live on a 5D, or you will live on telepathic communication and you can move on with your life, you know? But I don't understand this. The two person does not realize that their life is practically stuck and they can't move on. They can't move on. Their personal life, their love life, their family life, everything is stuck. In this specific case, I can see a divine masculine twin flame who is really rational, who does not listen to emotions but reasoning. And we have a divine feminine who is quite emotional, and both of them trying to balance themselves out and trying to find the middle way to be able to find a solution for this complicated situation. Divine masculine is quite comfortable waiting because he's busy doing this and that. He's not giving in to his emotions, but he's more logical about it. He thinks, we can wait 1 more year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years until I fix this and that and this and that. And divine feminine who's going nuts and says, I'm not getting younger, I'm getting older, I don't understand how long I should wait for this guy. And anyway, emotions like overflowing, and she just wants to move on, that something happens while the divine masculine does not do anything. In some cases, the divine masculine has some narcissistic trait, so using this to manipulate the divine feminine or keep the divine feminine under control. Not realizing all the horrors, all the pains, all the suffering that the divine feminine has to go through because of that. So when the divine feminine, as she is a twin flame of this guy, mirroring this situation and doing the same thing with the guy, he gets upset and says, this is a narcissistic woman like my ex. But what do you expect? You mirror each other. If you do not want your partner to behave a certain way, you should not behave neither. And you should be honest about that. If one partner lies, the other one will lie. If one partner betrays, the other one will betray. Unless if somebody stops this vicious cycle and being honest and loving and caring and forgiving and just stop, put an end of this eternal suffering. Well, it's up to you both. If this suffering, this eternal suffering, will get to the end this lifetime, or you carrying it for the next one.